My brothers and sisters of San Francisco, at the end of this, our meeting, this Eucharistic celebration, you have probably a message to me, for me to transmit to San Francis in Italy. So I think I shall say to your saint patron, Saint Francis, that he should remain still in Assisi for the whole world. But I shall say to him that his spiritual presence here at the west coast of America is very, very, very needed. And I hope that the saints are able to do both, to be in Assisi and to be also spiritually here at the west coast of America, in San Francisco. And I wish you to be still not only proud of this name, this saint, but also be faithful to the great message that he still transmits to all of us, everywhere, in the whole world. Thank you very much for this opportunity to meet together during the Eucharistic celebration. Special thanks for the choir and for all who prepared this celebration. I say that here, what I say here, I refer also to Los Angeles, city of the angels. You are privileged in the western coast of America, western part of America, very privileged, not only to be in communion of the saints, but also to be in communion of the angels. Again, thank you very much, and God bless you, every one of you, your families, and all your community, San Francisco and of California. Praise be our Lord Jesus Christ.
So, farewell from the Pope with the thought of saints and angels.
A wonderful moment, really, where the Pope spoke off the cuff, something that he is known to do every now and then, but something we have not seen him do that often, actually, in the last day and a half here in Northern California, giving actually a rather lengthy speech.
Wendy, I've been, observing in the studios for the coverage throughout every city, and he has not said that much off the cuff, or, I think as we mentioned yesterday, his English has improved. He feels a lot more comfortable being able to speak.
He definitely felt, it seemed as though he felt moved to talk to this particular crowd. And,
I noticed at the end of Mass, when he gave his final blessing, the young man started to take the microphone away, and he immediately pulled it back, even after the choir, and you knew that he wanted to say something else.
It's a great shot right here. Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't that lovely? You were saying, George, that it does seem strange, doesn't it? That it's almost like a performance, this groundswell of applause in a setting that normally would not have applause.
That's right. Although Catholics are certainly more comfortable today than they used to be in applauding in church, the Italians have applauded in church for a long, long time, and I think we've learned to do that ourselves.
We've finally gotten around to it.
Right. It's a wonderful way to express your appreciation and your love.
And there he is, His Holiness, the Pope, Bishop of Rome and Vicar of Jesus Christ, successor of St. Peter, Prince of the Apostles, Supreme Pontiff of the Universal Church, Patriarch of the West, Primate of Italy, Archbishop and Metropolitan of the Roman Province, Sovereign of Vatican City, John Paul II.
Congratulations, Mac.
I've been waiting all day to say
And
that.
what is his zip code?
He doesn't need one with a title like that.
now we're watching the recessional as the Pope moves away from the platform.
Wendy, he is going down to the side, as we had suspected, where the wheelchairs were. I'm sure you'll want to comment on that as he makes his way over there.
So there's a line of wheelchairs next to the Pope Mobile. You'll be able to see it in a little while. Here's the Pope, though, as he is stepping down off the platform.
And also, as you'll see, as the Pope gets closer to the Pope Mobile, that next to the wheelchairs, a string of very elderly members of the congregation who are here. It has to be a very special moment for them. And as the Pope has said here in San Francisco, we must remember and revere the elderly and remember what they've done in building the church.
Giving the Pope a very warm goodbye here.
Candlestick Park, of course, is used to applause and noise, big crowds and teams playing. Here is one individual.
Security requires that you remain in your place until His Holiness has left the park. Please remain in your seats until notified that you are free to leave. Thank you.
You can see that the Pope is now beginning to greet members, people who were here to celebrate Mass with him. He's working his way towards the Pope Mobile. And now he has come to a line of handicapped people in wheelchairs.
See, the firemen are getting their handshake in there, too. Now the crowd begins to chant.
We want what?
John Paul II, we love you. There's a very elderly gentleman there.
And there you can see the Pope Mobile, but the Pope is continuing to talk to some of the elderly people in the crowd, reaching out and touching people.
The biggest problem with John Paul, it seems, is that he never wants to leave. He always wants to touch one more person, make one more contact with his congregation.
Mercedes-Benz did not design the Pope-mobile for the long, tall mitre.
Pope and Archbishop John Quinn stepping into the Pope-mobile now.
Monsignor Pietro Medini, his Vatican Master of Ceremonies, one of the two who travels with him.
For people who are not familiar with the formalities of the church, a Master of Ceremonies sounds like a strange title, but that is an official title of the church.
It is. He really has the opportunity to direct the Pope in all liturgical ceremonies. One final time, the Pope-mobile makes its way around the outer perimeters.
We were wondering if they would just leave because the Pope is quite tired and we'd give him a chance to relax for a few moments at the sacristy, but apparently he wants to make one last turn around the track here at Candlestick Park. One last farewell.
Is he going to...
St. Francis.
Is he actually going to go around, or is he going straight out? Looks like the Secret Service are going straight out.
I think you're right. They've blocked off the track.
Right, I think he'll go straight out.
His airplane was scheduled for 1:45, and by the McElhatton Memorial timepiece there,
Papal Standard Time.
it's about 1:22, so I suppose he's pretty close to schedule.
Of course, there's one nice thing about being the Pope, you know. You don't have to worry about them taking off without you.
You can hear the crowd cheering and clapping as the Pope leaves the stadium.
As we sit in this box overlooking the playing field at Candlestick Park, you can just feel that love rushing up.
Ladies and gentlemen, security requires that you enter your place in the Holy Pope John Paul has left the box.
You can hear over the PA system that they're announcing that people have to stay in their seats.
The directors of the stadium said at our briefing that it will be the most orderly exit from Candlestick Park in the history of San Francisco.
Well, I talked to some of the police officers who are here today, and they said what a thrill to be here with a full house of people who are happy and who are joyous, not a problem.
And nobody lost a game.
The Pope has left the stadium now, and they have set up a trailer, or a mobile home, for the Pope outside of the stadium where he's going to be able to change or to divest and to get ready for his trip from San Francisco to Detroit. And here you see the floor of Candlestick Park, people milling about.
The electronic signs here all say, please remain in place, and Michael Pritchard has twice now asked the congregation to stay in their seats until the Pope has left Candlestick Park. But still, that's a little hard when you've got a crowd this size there. Some of them are on the move.
You know, it was interesting in this particular Mass. The homily that he gave was a very theological one, almost like instruction in the church. He quoted frequently from the scriptures. And then at the end of... There's the PA system again. But at the end of the Mass, he took a moment to give a very personal, warm kind of a goodbye to San Francisco. Very different from yesterday, where at Laguna Seca, he had a homily that was very geared for that local area and a lot of political references.
And one that created some sparks. This was the Pope as teacher, but also in his ad-lib comments at the end, Pope as super communicator.
Yeah, I guess what I was thinking was that in the homily that he had today, because it was such a highly structured one and so theological, you really didn't get a sense of that great communicator. You didn't get a sense of the warmth. When you got that was at the very end of the Mass, when he broke away from everything and took a moment to reach out and to really talk to this crowd. You could tell that he seemed moved to want to say something in particular to this group of people.
If I might remark at this time, when